Okay, so a brand just cut you a check and the money hit the account and it's time to pop bottles and celebrate and go to brunch and do all the things before you pay your bills, before you pay off your debt, before you start investing or saving, before you treat your friends to brunch. Let's talk about what you should be doing with that money and how to keep it organized and how to make sure you don't owe Uncle Sam a 5-figure tax bill. Oh, I still got PTSD about that. A 5-figure tax bill at the end of the tax year. Hi, I'm Whitney, digital lifestyle content creator and social media consultant, and I teach you how to turn content creation into an actual business. Today, we're talking about money. I've been showing you all the ropes on how to get started as a content creator, but what we haven't talked about yet is what to do when a brand does pay you. Like what to do before you spend the money. We're gonna talk about all that and so much more in this video, so stay tuned. When I first quit my job and I went full-time, the first thing that really took some adjusting to was managing my finances. I went from getting paid like clockwork on the dot, like I even knew what time the money was gonna hit my account. I went from getting paid like clockwork to not knowing when my next paycheck was coming, or brands paying me late, or having a net 30 or a net 60, or dare I say a net 90 payday. Ugh. So the financial part really did take getting some adjustment to. When you work with brands, they will send over a W-2 for you to fill out. This is just a form that basically says that they're paying you for work, and at the end of the tax year, they will send you a 1099. And the 1099 is basically saying somebody has to pay taxes on this money. When you get the W-2, you can either fill it out with your personal info, like your social security number, your home address, but if you've registered your business with your state, you can actually fill this out with your business info, like your EIN number and your business address. So before we get started, I do want to disclaim that I am not a lawyer, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a tax professional. I'm just a girl who has DIY'd a lot of my business and learned plenty of lessons, and some of them I had to pay for. And I'm just hoping that I can help you avoid them as well. So the first step to really getting organized with your finances is to completely separate your business from your personal. Have a completely separate business account from your personal account. I remember earlier in my journey, I did not separate them. Both my business and my personal life was in shambles. So once you've registered your business with your state, you can now officially open up a business bank account. And one tip I have is to make sure it's not the same bank you personally bank with. It just gets really confusing when it's time to log in, when you start looking at statements. So go ahead and just pick a completely separate bank from your personal bank. I use Chase, and they actually send like little inserts in the mail all the time. You can get money for just signing up and opening your account. I'll even drop a link in the description box. I'm not in love with Chase, but they haven't done anything wrong by me. And it was a bank that was close to the house, and it wasn't the same as my personal bank, which is why I chose Chase. But when I did get to Chase, I opened up 5 bank accounts. Yes, 5. I didn't do them all at once, I will say that. But as I started learning lessons and trying to get more organized, eventually I had 5 bank accounts. I had 2 savings, 2 checkings, and 1 credit card. And I know that sounds like a lot, but let me explain. Before I explain what each account is for and why, let me just say that to keep my hands out of dipping in the wrong account or to prevent me from neglecting one of the accounts, I automate everything. Automation to me is key. Setting things up to automatically move just eliminates error, forgetfulness, desperation. With Chase, I know you're able to auto set percentages to come out of every deposit that's made. So when it's time to pay the bills, or when it's time to invest in a piece of equipment, or when it's time to just put gas in the car, I have money there to do so. Not only do I automate certain percentages to go into each account, I also hide the accounts I don't need to see every day. So Chase has an option that you can hide accounts, so whenever you log in, you don't even have to see it, and eventually you forget it's there until you actually do need the money. I know I do that for myself, because if I see it, I think I got it. So I just hide it. And I'm gonna be honest, I've had a super traumatic relationship with money just from growing up, from making mistakes, from not being properly educated. So having these small little parameters in place just helps me avoid fluffing it up. So here are the accounts. So number one, I have a savings account, and I've renamed this savings account to Taxes and Tithes. And I allocate 25% to this account. I pay my taxes at the end of every month, and then I pay my tithes at the beginning of every month, and I allocate 25% to this account. After my taxes and my tithes are paid, anything that I have left over out of this account, I will put it in a Roth IRA for retirement. And I use Charles Schwab. We could talk about Roth IRAs and retiring as an entrepreneur in a different video, but this is my first account. It's a savings account for my taxes and tithes. My second account is a savings account, and I have renamed this account to Investments and Opportunities, and I allocate 15% to this account. This is for like education or courses or equipment or training, or if I need to do web design or things that are business related that are like investing in my business, but it's things that I don't have to do every single day. I am currently shopping around for a high yield savings account because more than likely the money that I put in this account is actually just gonna sit there until an opportunity pops up. It's not every day that I need to go in and like buy an expensive piece of equipment. So the money is probably just gonna sit there. And while it's sitting there, you can make some interest off of it. So shop around for a high yield savings account. I've been looking at Ally. I think Ally is the highest I found so far. The next account is a checking account, and I renamed this to Operational Business Expenses, and I allocate 20% here. This is for overhead costs like memberships, subscriptions, gas, just the things that help the light stay on for the business. I do carry this debit card with me. Since it's a checkings account, you can get a debit card for it. I carry this card with me, and then anything that I don't have to think about, but it's still a business expense, I use this card for that. So if I'm going on business lunches, or if I need to stop at Office Depot and get an SD card, like those are the things that I will use for this account. The next account is where a big chunk of my money goes into, because this is where I pay myself. This is a checking account, and I've renamed this to Owner's Draw. So give yourself a payday, whether it's every 2 weeks or monthly. I know for me, the job that I had previously, they paid me every month. So I knew how to thug it out for 4 weeks. And my life and my bills were already accustomed to that. So I just pay myself now every 4 weeks or every month. I've set up payroll so that my paychecks come out of this account. I do know if your business makes over a certain dollar amount, it is better to switch to S Corp or S Corp Elect and put yourself on an actual payroll. But I'm not a CPA or an accountant, so maybe that's something that you could talk to your tax professional about and see what's best for your situation. And then the last account is a credit card. This is absolutely optional. This is my business credit card, not my personal credit card. I do know that all credit cards are different and they have different benefits. So you'll have to like shop around and compare to see which one is really best for you. Keep in mind the interest rate. Credit cards typically have high interest rates and annual fees, but I'm gonna show you how to avoid interest rates in just a second. Credit cards have cash back rewards. Is either gonna give you like double or triple the points on gas or food or travel. So choose the one that's most aligned with your business. I know for me, I drive a lot, and then I also take my clients to lunch. So when I was searching for a credit card, I knew it was important for me to have one that gave like rewards on food and gas. But your situation may be different. Maybe you travel a lot and you want the travel perks, so just shop around. I know with business credit cards, you might have to have a cosigner, which is probably yourself. They might ask for your personal information, so that's also something you may or may not want to do. As for me, one of my business goals was to create some business credit, and so I decided that I definitely needed a credit card for this. But like I said, this account is absolutely optional. But I do avoid interest, and I'm gonna show you how. So to avoid interest, I have it set up to auto pay weekly. So every week the balance will be paid down to zero. And so every statement, it looks like I have a zero balance, which means I don't have to pay interest on it. And this only works because it's set up on auto pay. This also kind of like keeps me accountable. So if I swipe it, cool, but just know, by the end of the week, I'm gonna have to pay it back. So that's one way that I avoid interest on my credit card. But these are the 5 accounts that I have. Of course, you can divvy up the allocations however you want, the percentages however you want. This is just how I keep a good grip on my finances as a full-time entrepreneur, a full-time creator. The first year that I was 100% full-time, I actually owe Uncle Sam a 5-figure tax bill. And it was just because I didn't know, and I made so many mistakes, and I wasn't properly educated. So if I can help someone like avoid this just by giving you like a warning or showing you a better way or giving you something to think about, then I've done my job. So now when a brand or a client pays me, as soon as it hits my account, I know what's mine, I know what's not mine, it's organized, and everything is fully funded. So if you're getting started on your journey and you're like, Whitney, how can I even get paid? I want you to go first hit the subscribe button, but I also want you to hit my creator playlist where I walk you through how to become a full-time content creator and how to get paid for it. If you're already a paid content creator and you're wondering how can you make more money as a content creator, I want you to check out these videos, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.